Hi Stitchy friends, it's Sarah. Today is December 27th and I'm here with a WIP parade for you. My end of the year 2022 WIP parade, and I have a lot to show you. As you can see, the real Daisy is not here today. My younger daughter's home from college, so she's hanging out with her. So I have my Daisy stand-in here. Here she is. And so she's gonna hang out with me in the real Daisy's new princess bed that she got for Christmas. So we're just gonna pretend Daisy's here because she always is. She's just gonna hang out right there. All right, so hopefully you're all having a wonderful holiday season if you celebrate the holidays. My family and I had a wonderful Christmas, and I have just been enjoying having time to hang out in my craft room and just be surrounded by all my stitchy stuff and work on my stitchy stuff, and it's just been fantastic to have a break from school. So I spent some time yesterday here in my craft room, and I decided to get out all of my WIPs, write them all down because I really had no idea how many WIPs I had. I think my last WIP parade, it was like 40 something. It's a little more now. And just was helpful to get everything out and see it. And I did get rid of a couple of things that just weren't bringing me joy anymore. And just kind of bringing back some things that I really do want to work on that I just haven't thought about in a while. So without further ado, let's take a look. These are not in any particular order, although they do kind of start out from my older ones to my newer ones, but not in specific order. It's just kind of like what I pulled first. And I even ironed them all. So I don't know if I said that, but it's the first time I've ever done that. So I iron when I finish, but like I don't iron to show it. So I'm pulling out all the stops for you guys. You should feel special. Anyway, so I'm just going to show them to you. I have the information here in front of me. I wrote down the project name, I wrote down the designer, and I wrote down the fabric. And if you have any questions about my floss or anything, let me know, but I didn't bother writing all that down. So let's get started. All right, my first one that I have to show you is Tread Softly. Let me show you the pattern first. Tread Softly by Lindy Stitches. And my actual children gave this to me for Mother's Day in 2021. And I started it at StitchCon 2021. So I'm excited to get back to this one. So I don't actually remember the fabric I'm stitching this on, but I know it's a 32 count even weave. And that's what I've got. I need to get back to finishing that owl. I think I got kind of bored with the owl because I want to get to some of the more colorful things in the pattern. So I could just go ahead and start like that branch and do some flowers instead of making myself finish the whole owl first. I don't know, we'll see, but I definitely do want to pull that one back out. As far as like my plans for the year, I'll kind of talk about that as I'm going along. I don't have like any set plans, but there are a couple of pieces that I really want to focus on in the new year. And I'll be doing, like on the 4th of every month, I'll do a patriotic stitch. On the 13th and the 31st, I'll be doing some Halloween or fall stitching. I'll be doing definitely some Christmas stitching on the 25th, those types of things. But I'm not like nailing it down to a certain project. Just like when that date hits, I have, you know, several of each of those types to choose from. Actually, I don't have any 4th of July WIPs, so I'm gonna have to pull something out for that. So I guess I'll have a new start. Anyway, so those are like kind of like my loose plans. I find that when I plan something and set it in stone, then I don't want to do it anymore. So it's gonna be kind of more loosely planned. Anyway, all right, so that was my first one. Just gonna try to set them over here in some type of order, at least with the pattern. Okay, my next one is called Huckleberry Farm from the Blue Flower. I believe I started this one in 2021 as well. This is absolutely my favorite Blue Flower pattern, and Blue Flower is my favorite designer. Janine just has a way of charting animals, and I love stitching animals. So of course that's right in my wheelhouse. So let's take a look at what I've got. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count color and cotton mocha, which looks, it's getting kind of blown out there, but it looks more purpley in real life. There you go. So that's what I've got done. So you can see I've got quite a bit left to go, but I think this is like my favorite WIP out of all of them. So this is definitely going to be a focus piece for me. There's one other that's going to be my focus, but once I get that done, this one will be coming out and hopefully seeing a finish in the new year. I definitely want to get that one finished in the new year because I love it. Okay, my next one is another Lindy Stitches. It's called Stars Bright. And I just love the saying on it. It says, "We would be together and have our books, and at night be warm in our bed together with the windows open and the stars bright." I just love the colors. I love stitching birds, and it's just gorgeous. I think this is probably my favorite Lindy Stitches pattern. And I'm stitching this on a 40 count Jody fabric that I bought at StitchCon in 2021. And that's what I've got so far. So just a kind of small start, maybe almost a quarter of the way through. So I definitely have some work to do on this. I don't know if it'll see a finish in the new year, but I would like to pull that one out and work on it some more. Okay, next up is my Little Red Riding Hood parade. I don't have a picture of this one. This one was a Sal from the Frosted Pumpkin, and it came out in parts. And so I didn't print up a picture of the final thing. If I'm feeling motivated, I'll pop in a picture. But yeah, I think a lot of people have seen this one already. So I'm stitching this one on the fabric that the kit came with. It's a 28 Cashel Picture This Plus Spice. And I don't have much of a start. But that's what I've got. I just love the color of this fabric. I love the modeling. And I really do want to get this one, get some more work on this one. My friend Sally, she finished hers and she loves stitching Frosted Pumpkin, and hers looks wonderful. I want mine finished too. Okay, this next one I'm a little bit embarrassed about. So, another one of my favorite designers is Plum Street Samplers. This one is called Spring Moon. It was an exclusive from Fox and Rabbit. You can only get it from Fox and Rabbit. I don't know if it's still available, but I saw Julie, Kansas City Girl in Colorado World, I believe it was. I think she had this one. And so, of course, I had to copy her and go buy it from Fox and Rabbit. And I am stitching this on the, I believe it's the called for. I don't know. I can't tell. Anyways. Oh, it is the called for. Sorry. This is 40 count Fox and Rabbit baked clay, and I couldn't even tell you what's up or down at this point. I think this is up. That's my teeny tiny embarrassing start. So I think because it's, I guess, well, it is a spring pattern. I got it like at the end of spring, and I was just kind of getting out of the spring stitching mood. And so I'll definitely be pulling this one out soon when spring appears, because it's just beautiful. All right. Let's see. Next one is another Frosted Pumpkin. I do have the cover photo. This was the Cozy Cafe Club, and it was a Sal in 2021 with all the different drinks, and I got pretty far on it. I'm stitching it on the called for, it came with the kit, the Picture This Plus Opal 28 Cashel. And that's what I've got. You can see I was ambitious. I thought I was going to finish it in 2021. Clearly I did not. I don't even think I touched it in 2022. And honestly, this is one of those ones that I'm just considering stopping. Like I said, I didn't even touch it in 2022, and I don't really have any desire to finish it. I think Frosted Pumpkin designs are cute. This one is just not not calling me because I have so many things to stitch, and that's just not one of the ones that I'm like, oh, I really want to finish that. So I don't know, that one might go away, or at least be put in a perpetual timeout until I decide if I am going to finish it. Okay, my next one is an owl forest called 100 Owls. I think this was a free chart. I could be wrong, but I believe this was a free download on Owl Forest Embroidery. And I'm stitching mine on a 32 count R&R Salt Marsh Green. And out of the 100 owls, I've got one. Only 99 more to go. I do love this one. I do want to pull this one back out. And I am stitching it with the called for Owl Forest Embroidery threads. Their flosses are just gorgeous. The variegation is beautiful. And I think it just really makes the design. It just makes it pop, I guess. Okay, let's see. That was number 7. We only have like 40 something left to go. Okay. All right, this one was a summer start for me in 2022. This is Tellin Emblem Scissor Sampler. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Rocky Mountain by XG Design. And that's my progress. I just love the colors. They really pop. I'm using all of the called for colors. And I just love this one. I definitely want to get back to this one for sure. This is my first Tellin Emblem piece as well. I have a couple of her other patterns, but this is the only one I've started so far. And I just love this fabric. I can't wait to use this fabric for other things because obviously I'm gonna have some left. So it'll be perfect for some other projects. Let's see, our next one. Oh, I love this. I'm gonna say I love this one like 10,000 times, sorry. So this one was a StitchCon start. So, and I know a lot of people started this at StitchCon or purchased it at StitchCon. So this is from Jan Hicks Creates, and Jan is a designer, as you can see, and her trunk show was at StitchCon, and the finished piece was stunning. I kept going back to it. I don't even think this cover photo does it justice. The finished piece was just stunning. And so I just kept looking at it, and I was like, well, that's huge. I don't know if I want to stitch that. But finally, my friends and I were like, let's do it. It's gorgeous. We want to stitch it. And so we started stitching it at StitchCon. And I think we have a hashtag. I think it's just Meditation Garden Sal. I'll try to look that up and put it in the description box below. But I really want to have this finished by the time I go back to StitchCon. So this one's definitely going to get pulled up to the top of the pile so that I can work on it. Because clearly I don't have, let me fold this a little bit. Clearly I don't have a whole lot done. I've been working on that border. I love the border on this one because, as you can see, it changes up. And so you don't get bored with the border. By the time you start getting bored with a pattern, you're moving on to something else. And so that's what I've got so far. A lot of friends that started this at StitchCon have a lot more done. And I even think I saw somebody recently on Instagram who had the whole thing finished. So I really want to get that done before we go back to StitchCon, because if Jan's there again, I'd love to get a photo with her with my finished piece. I'm stitching this on Fortnite Fabrics Sea Glass in 36 count. And I'm just using the DMC. I know it's charted in silks, but I'm using the DMC, and I think I'm doing, looks like I'm doing 2/2. So, because I really wanted the colors to pop. Sometimes I do 1/2 on 36, and sometimes 2, based on what the pattern, what the design looks like, and how much I want the colors to really stand out. So for this one, because it's so colorful, I really wanted the colors to pop off the fabric, and I think they are. Okay, my next one is also a sale that I have going with my friends, and I believe it was a sale that that Jen and I hosted with Alexis, My Amazing World. And this is a Lizzie Kate 3-part mystery sampler. It's not a mystery anymore because it's been out for a while, but it's available on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. You do have to purchase all 3 parts of the SAL because each part has just that part. It doesn't like the third one doesn't have all of it. You have to buy part 1, part 2, part 3. And so it is called Things Unseen. And I believe the hashtag is just Things Unseen Sal. And that's what the finished piece looks like. And I'm stitching it on 32 count Picture This Plus Ren 2/2. And this, along with the Meditation Garden, are definitely going to be coming back out soon. Obviously, I don't have a whole lot done, and I really would like to get this done. My stitchy friends and I are all stitching this together. I believe a couple of them are finished. Obviously, I'm not, so I would like to pull this one back out and get some more progress on it. So definitely that and the Meditation Garden. In fact, I'm going to set them aside because those two are going to become focus pieces sometime soon. Okay, my next piece is Thurza Priscilla Dawes 1870 by Hemlock and Rye. That is the design company name of Julie, Kansas City Girl in Colorado World. And this was a reproduction sampler she created in 2022 based on a sampler that she had found, and she did 2 colorways. And so this colorway, the more muted one, represented the colors that were on the front of the sampler. However, when she took it out of the frame and turned it over, the colors on the back were a lot more vibrant, you know, because they had been more well protected. And so she actually charted it in both colorways, the colors as represented on the front and the colors on the back. I am choosing the more muted colorway, and I actually happen to have the same exact fabric that she stitched her model on. This is 40 count Saltbush by Fox and Rabbit, just making sure I have that right. And there's my start. Even though this is the more muted colorway, I do like how those colors pop. Those little birds though, and they're not showing up very well. I might change their colors, but we'll see. But even though it's the more muted colorway, obviously it's looking pretty colorful so far. So I'd like to get back to Thurza at some point. That's not one that I have to get done soon, but it is fun to work on. Okay, all right, and this next one also has a very tiny, sad start. This is called Summertide Blessings from Plum Street Samplers. And I just think it's beautiful. I guess that could be considered a patriotic piece because it has the flag. I could pull that one out on the 4th. For this one, I didn't have a color that I liked for it. So what I did was I dyed on my own color. In fact, I had this Forbidden Fiber Co. fabric called Lakeshore, and I just didn't really like the modeling. It was like blue, and then you could see like the white through. It was like marbled, and I just wanted something a little more solid. So I re-dyed it again, and that's all I've got so far. But I do like the modeling on this one, and I like that it's more, it's blue. There's obviously different shades of blue throughout, but it's all blue. So that's my tiny little start. So that might be a good one to pull out for my patriotic stitching on the 4th, because that's really the only patriotic one I have started. Okay, moving on, number 13. This is Moonlight Sampler by The Blue Flower, and this was my birthday start back in, I guess it was 2021. Yeah, so I love this. I love stitching animals. There's so many animals. Look at the little possum with her babies. The little tiny bunny and the fox. So I have this one started, and it's been in timeout for a while because I don't love my fabric choice. And I have not a lot, but I have a good chunk of it done. And so, you know, friends tell me, just keep going with it, or, you know, you can backstitch around the colors that aren't really showing up, but I'm really thinking, I really think I want to start this one over because I just have no desire to stitch on it on this fabric. And so this fabric is 40 count My Little Dove by XJU Design. Let me be careful here, I don't want to lose my needle. Let me fold it over. XJU Design, My Little Dove. I love XJU Design fabric. I'm just not loving this design on that fabric because the white is just not showing up. I feel like this design would show up way better on something darker like this. And so I really feel like I just want to start over. You know, I could do like a little small, maybe turn the owl and the flowers here into a pillow or something, but I just don't have any desire to keep working on this fabric. So I may just cut this part off, use it for something different, and just start over. You know, I do feel bad because I did put some time into that one, but I just don't want to work on it. So I definitely want to do the pattern. I just don't want to stitch it on that fabric. So that's why I haven't touched that one in a while, which makes me sad because I really love that one. Okay, well, this one's a big one too. This is another Owl Forest embroidery. It is Alice in Wonderland. Sorry, I don't have a bigger picture. This is also, I believe it's still free on Owl Forest embroidery. This was a free download. It was a SAL, came in 19 different parts. And I started late, so I already started kind of behind, and I'm definitely behind now because I haven't worked on it in a while. I'm stitching this on Weeks Dye Works straw, 32 count, and I'm using all of the Owl Forest embroidery floss. They're variegated flosses. So that's what I've got. I've got the white rabbit up here. Got to start on Alice. I've got all of the vines and the trellis in the middle. So I love this one. I do want to get back to it. I've seen so many people have stitched this and they finished it, or they've gotten way farther than me, and it makes me want to work on mine. I'll pull it back out sometime. Again, it's not one that I'm like, oh, I have to get that finished now. So whenever I get to it. All right, this next one, I didn't touch it all in 2022. And when I started, I was all gung-ho. In fact, I had my eyeball on this one for a while. I really, really wanted it. It's the Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. You know it, you love it, maybe. And so I started it, and the only thing I've gotten done is that. And I've gotten the teeniest, tiniest start on this block. And that's where I'm at. So I'm stitching this on, look at my list here. This is Mystic Fabrics Veteris, I never know how to say that, 40 count. So I've got a nice big piece of it. And the only reason I stopped is because somehow I've miscounted somewhere up here, and I couldn't figure out where I miscounted, and I'm sure I could fudge it, but I just kind of like got frustrated with it. And so I just kind of lost steam on this one. And I've been thinking like, maybe I'll frog out, you know, the second part here and just like make this into a little pillow, and maybe just stitch the boxes that I like and make those into little pillows as smalls. So I don't know if I'll continue with the whole thing, or if I will just do that, just stitch the small parts that I like the most and finish those. Because like I love this one. We Are Afraid. I love that one. And I also love this one down here with the skeletons. It says In Our Graves by Glowworm Night. So I might do that. We'll see. I was going to pull it out at Halloween, and I just didn't. Does anybody have those projects where like you want to stitch it and you've put it aside and you just kind of lost your mojo with it? You're like, yeah, I want to stitch that. I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. That's kind of where I'm at with this one. So I'm not ready to throw in the towel on it, but I'm not ready to pull it out and work on it right now. So we'll see. Okay, my next one is And to All a Good Night by Lindy Stitches. This was a release last year for Christmas. There it is, the big green variegated house, the peacock on the roof, the flying reindeer, the snowman driving the sleigh. Very quirky, very fun. I am stitching it on the called for fabric. This is Weigert Raw Mini Dot 36 count. And that's where I've gotten to. I had fun stitching the peacock on the roof there. But as you can see, I've got a lot more to do. And this is another one that I've lost my mojo on. I didn't pull this out at all this holiday season. And I'm thinking this might be one that I'm just like, I'm done. I might be done with this one. You know, I could possibly like make a small out of the peacock here or something. I don't know. I just don't, out of all of the things I have started, this is just not one that's like calling to me. It's cute. I'm not loving it. So that might go in the UFO pile. You know, out of all of the ones I have here, that's probably the one that I'm the least motivated to stitch on. So who knows? Okay, my next one is Summer Refreshes by Summer House Stitchworks. I just love, they have one for all the seasons. And so I have all of the charts except for autumn. I think it's called Autumn Abounds, maybe. And I'm stitching them in, what are they called? The Belle Soie, I think that's what it's called. And so I got conversions for the winter and the spring ones at Keepsakes, and then I converted this one myself. And I'm stitching this on, and I don't have my colors with me, they're in the bag, but if you'd like to know what colors I used, just leave me a message or leave me a comment. So I'm stitching this one on Color and Cotton Ophelia 40 count. And that's what I've got so far. Just a small start, but I just love, and I think it's pretty true to color. I think my conversion is pretty true to what it looks like on here. The red might be a little pinkier, but otherwise I think it's pretty true. So I'll definitely be getting back to that one. In fact, I have the winter one all kitted up, and I'm going to be starting that as one of my New Year starts. So I will be sharing my my NYE 12x12 plans probably in another video, in case you don't care to see that or you want to see one and not the other. So anyway, that way this video won't be 1,000 years long. Okay, number 18 is called Spring Parade. There was actually 2 booklets. This is booklet number 2, set 2. I also have set 1. I stitched this one last year. The artichoke turned out super cute, turned it into a pillow. And now I'm stitching the radish car. And that's what I've got. I did not give myself much of a margin up here, so I'm a little worried about that. But I'm stitching this. This fabric actually came in the Black Needle Society Happy Hour stitching box. It's called It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere by Seraphim Fabrics. It's a 32 count. And I'm just stitching this with the called for DMC, and I think it's adorable. And so I would like to get back to this one. I would like to stitch some more of them. The other one, the set 1 has a bunny driving a carrot, and that's going to be my next one. So after I finish the radish, we're going to do the carrot. So apparently I like the bunnies driving vegetables. Who knew? What do you think, Daisy? Do you like it? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you. I miss the real Daisy. I wish she was here with me, but my daughter stole her. Okay, then I've got Trick or Treat 2022. This was from Stitch with Coffee Designs on Etsy. Her designs are adorable. They're all cats. She's got Halloween ones. She's got Christmas ones. Cats wearing Christmas sweaters. And I just love this one. I really particularly love the eyeballs and the skulls. And of course the cats in their costumes. And I did get a small start on this one. Now this is stitched on Under the Sea Looking Glass 36 count. I'm stitching it 2 over 2. And that's what I've got so far. Small start, but I'll get back to it. Maybe my dark 13 31st stitching, we'll see. Okay, next is Tiny Modernist Halloween Crystal Ball. It was a 3-part sow. Just like the Lizzie Kate, you have to buy all 3 parts. And so that's what the whole thing looks like. I don't have much of a start. I just started it this Halloween. And I'm stitching this on Fiberlicious Silver Moon 40 count. So I just have a little bit of the vine and the flowers on the side. So I have quite a bit left to go. And I forget, I think I'm using the called for flosses. So that's that one. I love that one. It's so cute. It didn't have many colors to it either. I want to say like 5 or 6, something like that. Okay, next, oh, this is one of my favorites. I don't have much of a start on it, but I definitely do want to get back to this one. I don't think I touched it at all in 2022, which is very sad. This is Lindy Stitches, Emily's House. And I love it. Apparently this is a real house. I think I saw a picture of the actual house. And it says, speak for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. And I just think it's gorgeous. I love the yellow house. And of course I love the animals. And I just think the border there is fantastic. I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Oaken, 36 count. It looks like I'm doing 1/2 on this one. So that's where I'm at. Not a whole lot done. But I love Oaken. And I think it's coming out very nice so far. I think I'm using DMC. I believe I'm using the called for DMC for this one. So that one's beautiful. I love that one. Okay, my first list is done. I'm going to flip this page over. So that was my 21st WIP of the year. All right, the next one I started this year. I believe it was the summer 2022. This is called The Little Dog with an exclamation point, Crochet Go-Go. And I think this is a color in cotton. I don't know what the color is. I think I got it when Fire Poppies was closing. And so I was like snatching up fabrics left and right. But I do know this is a 40 count. So that's what I've stitched. Now the dog in the pattern is not this color. I switched the colors to look like my Daisy girl. And so I definitely want to finish this one up. It's so cute. I gave her little brown eyebrows. So yeah, that's where I'm at on that one. Oh, here's the pattern. Oh, well, I don't have a picture. Hold on. Let me see if I do. Oh, I do. Hold on. I always keep my things in these plastic sleeves to protect them. There it is. That's what the real pattern looks like. But of course, I want it to look like my puppy, so I changed the colors. All right. It is really fun to like pull all these back out and to iron them and to take a look at them and see where I'm at and what I've been doing, and just because you forget sometimes what you have. All right, now this one is a big Mama Jamma. This is Live on Little. You know, that has an American flag too. That also could be a patriotic stitch. Live on Little is gigantic. It says, how great the blessings and vast the art to live on little with a thankful heart. And I started this at the same time as Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher. And I've got a giant piece of Fox and Rabbit Hog Bristle 40 count. And that's what I got. That's all. Kind of a sad start. But it's a beautiful design. I gotta tell you, Plum Street and Blue Flower are like my favorite designers. So if Blue Flower designs it or Plum Street, I'm stitching it. That's all there is to it. Okay, so my next one is another Frosted Pumpkin. Oh, sorry. Another Frosted Pumpkin stitch along. This is called the Maple Lane Club, I think it was. And I'm stitching this on the call for Picture This Plus Vellum 28 count. And I am changing some things. Do I have a picture of it? Okay, here's the picture. I'm changing some things. I am going to make the people look like my children. So this one is my son. So he's got dark hair. I'm going to make this little girl here look like my daughter, Maggie. I'm going to make this one here look like my daughter, Kendall. So I'm gonna have to change it to a girl. I'm going to change the colors of this dog to look like my dog, Toby, who passed away last year. And I'm going to change this person to another dog to look like my Daisy. So to be my kids and my dogs. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to do with it. So I think it is a little daunting trying to change some things, but I think it'll be so cool to do that. I just like to kind of personalize things sometimes. I don't do it a lot, but if I can, just kind of make it more exciting. Okay, now this next one, I've started it twice. This is the Day, Plum Street Samplers, 2022 market release, I believe. Super popular. Everybody loves it. I adore it. That pink brick house. Love it. So I started it on that picture, Color This Cotton Ophelia. I think I pulled that out before. It's a really cream colored fabric and it just wasn't popping. And so I started it over again because my friend Jen, my other half of Stitchy Friends, she started hers on My Little Dove from XQ Design, which is the same exact fabric that I'm stitching Moonlight Sampler on that I'm not loving. And I'm finding that I'm having the same problem with this one. So that's what I've got so far. And I don't love it because you can't see the goat. And also I have made some kind of mistake in here. I've miscounted somewhere. And so I am restarting this. I'm not stitching on this anymore. So apparently I love the color My Little Dove, but apparently I don't like stitching on it. So I'm going to restart this a third time. So this and Moonlight Sampler going to be restarts. Because I love them both. I just am not enjoying stitching them on that fabric. So I'm not going to continue. Okay, next one is a Blackbird, Away We Ride. Beautiful. I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Murky 32 count. And I think I'm using most of the called for floss. I think I did kind of change a couple. But that's where I'm at so far. I got a little more work in on it over the Halloween season. But as you can see, I still got a ways to go. But I think it looks really cool on this murky fabric. Very spooky. Spooky. Next, I have Prairie Schooler. I think this is the only Prairie Schooler I've ever started. It's called Pumpkin Patch. I'm stitching the big one here. This is another one I have a tiny, sad little start on. And I didn't work on it at all this Halloween season. So this was my start back in 2021, and that's literally all I've gotten accomplished. I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Mellow 40 count. I think the pattern's adorable. I think the fabric is perfect. I just didn't work on it. My problem is, especially with Halloween and Christmas, I love stitching both seasons, both holidays, but because all these wonderful new things come out every year, I want to start all the new things, and so that I don't get back to my old things, and then I just end up with a bunch of stuff. So it's not a bad problem to have, I guess, considering all the problems I could have. Okay, this is another 2021 Halloween season start, Sleepy Hollow by Liz Matthews. I was inspired to stitch this when I saw Kristen from Steel City Stitcher stitching hers, and she was stitching it on a really cool Jody fabric. And so I decided I want to stitch mine on a really cool Jody fabric as well. So this was a Jody fabric I got because I was in her fabric club. And so that's where I got in 2021, and I just didn't get back to it. So I do want to pull that one back out. I love the grumpy pumpkins. Nothing cooler than a grumpy pumpkin. So yeah, I got the whole tree done there. I just gotta put the rest of the stuff in. But I think it looks really cool in that fabric. And that's the cool thing about Flosstube. You see what people are doing and you're like, oh, I would have never thought to do that, but that looks really cool. And you just steal their ideas, borrow them, you know, because copying people is, what is that? The imitation is the highest form of flattery, something like that. So, all right, this one is another tiny sad start. Quaker Pumpkins. Hello from Liz Matthews. I kitted it up in 2021. I started it in 2022, and I've got just the teeniest, tiniest start. I'm stitching this on X2 Design Milk Chocolate 36 count, and it looks like I'm doing 2/2, and I think this is the right way up. Giant piece of fabric, tiny start. Sometimes I'm embarrassed to show these tiny starts, but it's real life, people. Real life over here. Okay, here's another blackbird. It's called Midnight Watch. I love that giant black cat against the moon there. This is another tiny start. I'm stitching this on the same fabric that's upside down. Stitching on the same fabric I'm stitching my Hawk Run Hollow on, 40 count. And that's all I've got. Part of a window, the door. That's it. Okay, oh, I started this one this year. I got this pattern when I was in Vegas over the summer. I went to Stitcher's Paradise and I found Jenny Bean's Halloween sampler. It's amazing. I love it. It says, "When I am dead and in my grave and all my bones are rotten, if this you see, pray think of me, or I will be forgotten." I just love it. And so I decided I wanted to stitch mine on X2 Design Grandpa's Sleeve, 40 count. Let me turn it up the right way. And that's what I've got so far. I love it. This fabric is perfect for it. And I just love that border. I cannot wait to get back to this one. It's going to be awesome. So that one's definitely going to be coming back out again in 2023 for sure. Okay, next. For Expo this year, there were a lot. Was it Expo? Right? Expo? I don't remember. There were a lot of charts that were being stitched, that were being charted with the cottage garden threads. And so this is the chart. I mean, it was a free chart. Got it from the Blue Flower. It's called Blanket Flower. And I have a small start on it. And that's it. That's all I've got. And I'm stitching this on Be Stitch Me Sand Dollar 40 count. That's all I've got. Speaking of Be Stitch Me Sand Dollar 40 count, I'm also stitching Grimm's Haunt. So I got this, pictures, or not pictures, plus Plum Street samplers. I got this in the Kitten Stitchers Halloween box. And I love it. I love stitching fall and Halloween. I love those orange rusty colors. And I love the pumpkins with their little faces. And so I had to start this one immediately. I didn't get very far, but I've got to start. And there it is. Don't blink, you'll miss it. So, yep. Now this next one has a bit more finished on it. So this one, let's see, we are up to, number 34. The Salem Sisters Apothecary. I'm stitching this on Butter Crunch by Needle Bling Design. I got this in a Black Needle Society box. I forget which one. In fact, it's not true to color here. It's definitely more buttery than it's appearing here. But it's gorgeous. And let me show you the picture. Here's the picture. And Jen, for my birthday, got me the board for it. Oh, I can't wait to finish it and put it on that board. It's going to be so awesome. So for sure, this one's coming back out this year because I definitely want to finish this. So pretty. So that one's by, what is it, Primrose Cottage Stitches. Next, I have my Tudor Ermine, another blue flower design. Tudor Ermine. He's so cute. And I'm stitching him on Picture This Plus Oaken, 36 count, 2/2, making sure I've got it up the right way. And that's what I've got. I haven't touched it so far this year. That was just what I did in 2021. So I need to pull him back out. I did the Tudor Bee a couple years ago, so I want to get the Tudor Ermine finished. Next, I have another blue flower. Are you noticing a theme here? I love the blue flower. It is Acorns. Gorgeous. So I'm stitching this one with all of the called for floss, except I did switch out the St. Bernard Color and Cotton, not Color and Cotton, Classic Colorworks. St. Bernard, I switched out, it was the letters for Acorns. I switched that out with Weeks Dye Works Twilight because the St. Bernard that I picked up was just way too light. So here's what I've got. Oh, it's just so vibrant. I love the little squirrels in the letters there. And I'm stitching this on Mystic Fabrics Lemongrass 36 count 2/2. I really need to finish that one. I haven't touched it at all in 2022. Isn't that sad? All right, another tiny start. This one's another blue flower. Autumn's Hymn. Gorgeous. And I'm stitching this one on Mystic Fabrics Pearl, 36 count. And I got a very small start. Just the path coming up to the house there. That's all I started. Got a lot of things started. Just not a whole lot of progress on some things. It's okay. All right, my next one is another Halloween. You could see all my Halloween stuff was kind of stored together because I was just pulling things out as they were stored. This one is from the Hello Halloween book from Teresa Kogut, and I'm stitching the Halloween sampler that's pictured right here on the front. It's ginormous. It's going to take me a million years. I'm okay with it. And I'm stitching this on Fiber on a Whim Buttermilk 40 count. And that's what I've got so far. A little bit of the border and a cat. So I'll be working on that some more too. I know a lot of people were just taking, I don't know about a lot of people, but some people were like, you know, maybe doing like a band, you know, and maybe doing a drum with it or just, you know, doing a flat finish with it. That would be a smart idea, but I'm not always smart, so I decided I want to do the whole thing. All right, this one is another Halloween, Mouse's Halloween Stitching by Tiny Modernist. And I'm stitching it on Avocado 40 count by XJU Design. You can tell that XJU Design is another favorite of mine, one of my favorite fabric dyers. And there's the mouse. So cute. It is hard to see the white on that one, but I'm not starting it over. I think it'll be fine. I think once all the other stuff gets put on there, it'll be fine. Another blue flower. This one is called Winter Blooms. And I'm stitching, I'm definitely pulling this one out, especially because it's winter. In fact, I'm going to leave this one out because I want to work on it. This is on Mystic Fabrics Pearl 40 count. Same fabric I started the Autumn's Hymn on. But that's what I've got so far. So pretty. This fabric is perfection. I like Mystic Fabrics too. I have a lot of those. This is another Fox and Rabbit. I got a lot of Fox and Rabbit fabric too. If you've been watching stitchy friends at all, you've seen this one 1,000 times. I'm stitching Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. I'm stitching the big sampler. And I'm stitching this with my friend Kirby. We've been doing a stitch along. I did kind of fall off in the last couple of months. I needed a break. I've been working on it a lot this year. We started in April of 2022, and we've gotten a good bit of it done. So I didn't like fall off completely, but I did need to step back and take a break from it for a little while, but I'm ready in the new year to get right back to it. So here's what I've got so far. So I'm stitching this on 46 count Fox and Rabbit Prehistoric. And the reason I kind of lost my mojo on this one is because, oh, sorry, I dropped Daisy. Sorry. The reason I lost my mojo on this one is because I was getting over here in this border, and I have restitched this border like 7 times because somehow I'm stitching it, you know, 1/2. Somehow I'm off by 1 thread, 1 fabric thread, and I cannot. It's in this border somewhere. I cannot figure out for the life of me where I went wrong. And so I've decided I'm going to just stop with this border. I'm not messing with it anymore. I'm going to continue. Kirby and I were working down here. Actually, no, this thing is huge. We were working in this section right here, this middle section. So I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to just continue. Sorry, this is giant. I need like an extra pair of hands. I'm going to continue with the whole thing, and I'm going to bring the border all the way up, back up to here, and just see if I can fudge it somewhere and just make it work. I really don't want to fudge anything. I really have been very particular with this piece. A lot of things I don't mind fudging, but I've been really particular with this piece, and like if my stitches don't look good, or if I did miscount something, I take it all out and I start again, because this really is going to be what I call my heirloom piece. I love this so much. I love the sentiment, let love reign in your heart and home. I just think the design is gorgeous. I think the colors are perfection. And I do love stitching on this, even though I got frustrated. I just think all of the motifs and the colors and the flowers are just perfect. And so I really want this to be my heirloom piece. I finish all of my own cross stitch, fully finish everything, but this one is going to be professionally framed. And I did tell my children that one day when I'm gone, someone has to take this and hang it up and take good care of it. So my son has said that he will take it and hang it up in his house. So hopefully whoever his wife is will like it enough to want it displayed in her house, because if not, I will come back and haunt them. If this ends up in a Goodwill somewhere, watch out, because I will find you. So this one, so for 2023, this is definitely going to be the focus piece of 2023, because this will be done in 2023. So Kirby and I are going to be getting right back to this and cranking it out. So anytime I have time to work on this, this is what I'm going to be focusing on. Definitely will be doing my Sunday stitching is going to be this every Sunday. And I even think I might try to do like a 25/7 with this, so I can touch it at least every single day. Because I did fall behind on this one, and I do want this to get finished this year. So you'll be seeing a lot more of Let Love Reign from me this year. And again, I don't know why I chose a 46 count for such a giant project, but I think it's turning out okay. I did finally invest in a light with a magnifier. I've never stitched with a light or a magnifier, but I think I'm going to need it for that one because it's hard. It's hard. Okay, and the lighting in my living room sucks, so I really do need some light. Okay, so this one, another blue flower, of course. This was a start for my friend Maggie's birthday in November. And we started Magpie and the Moon. This was one of the new releases from the blue flower. And I'm stitching it on the called for fabric. The called for fabric is Seraphim fabric, bird's eye view, 40 count. And that's what I've got so far. Look at that fabric. Isn't that amazing? Let me put like something white behind this. I had a board here, but I don't know where it went. I don't know. Anyway, that fabric is amazing. I think it's probably my favorite fabric ever. So I'm definitely going to need to get more of this. It's amazing. So that's what I've got so far. Of course, Maggie finished hers and it looks amazing. Maggie was a Flosstuber and she stopped. I think she needs to come back because she's very prolific. She finishes her things so cute and she really needs to share that with the world. So Maggie, I'm calling you out, girl. We want to see you. Okay. Next, so got to the end of that list. Next is number 43. It is called Be Ye Thankful with Thy Needle and Thread. And that's what I've got so far. I'm stitching this on XG Design 36 count rustic drab. And I believe I'm doing 1/2. No, looks like 2/2. Gorgeous. This is what the finished piece will look like. And, oh, now this was my birthday start this year. One guess who the designer is. If you said Blue Flower, you were correct. Because it is. It is Night Walked Down. This is my all-time favorite. I believe it's my all-time favorite Blue Flower design. I feel like I said that with something else. I could be wrong. But this was gifted to me by Jen, and she gave it to me for my birthday in 2021, and I started it on my birthday in 2022, and my friend Maggie started with me. I'm stitching this on Fabrics by Stephanie, Jamie's Kilt, 40 count, and it's gorgeous. I did change some of the colors. Look at that fabric. I think this and the other one, the Seraphim, Bird's Eye View, these are my favorite. I just love the colors in the fabric. It's amazing. And so that's what I've got so far. Love it. I just need to have like a blue flower bonanza, like a blue flower month, just a month where I just do nothing but blue flower. That would be fun for like mania. Like instead of starting a bunch of stuff, just like working on blue flower for the whole month, like blue flower mania. I'll have to think about that. Okay, this next one, I don't have a picture of the design, but if you've been on Instagram or wherever, you might have seen this. So Jen and I both purchased the Nice List from the Black Needle Society. And so kind of one of the perks we got was a design that Katie from Black Needle Society designed called Santa's Stamp Collection, and each day she revealed a new stamp in the collection, and so it was kind of like a Advent stitch along. And so I've started this twice. I started it on like this mint colored fabric, but it really was not showing up, and so I started it again on Picture This Plus Dusk. I'm choosing my own colors, and that's what I've got so far. So obviously I have a lot more to go, but I think what I will do is I want to finish the top part here where it says Santa's Stamp Collection, and then everything below that is the actual stamps. So like this one here is a stamp. So I think I'll just finish up the top, and then next year I will just do a stamp a day. That way I'll have the whole top finished, and I can just add the stamps next year. So this, after I get the top put in, this we put away till next year, because I think the whole idea of stitching a stamp a day is really fun. Okay, so now this one I wanted to finish this year, and I could have. I just didn't focus on it. This, I did get a lot of progress on it though. This is called Santa's Trips by Barbara Anna Designs. I saw that Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, she finished this last year, I think. And Mama Loves You GB, she has also finished hers. It's stunning. I'm just using the called for DMCs. I'm stitching it on Mountain Air Fabrics Egyptian Sand 40 count. And that's what I've got. So I got most of it done. I just got to finish up those 4 little vignettes in there. So I'll kind of give you a close up here. The colors are vibrant. I love reds. I love reds. And that just has the perfect combination of like the red and the corally red for the holly berries. It's beautiful. So I definitely hope I can get that finished for 2023 because it's just gorgeous and I really want to display it for Christmas. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. This was a new start for me this year. This is called Cranberry House by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, new designer to me. And this is actually part of a nine-part series, the Houses on Peppermint Lane series. This is chart 5. And I chose this one because I love those cranberry colors. I just love shades of red and, you know, cranberry. So I'm stitching this on, I'm stitching this one on Atomic Ranch Weatherstone, 40 count. And I'm just using, I'm using all the called for, so it looks like it's all Weeks Dye Works. And that's what I've got so far. The top border and most of the roof. I do have another one in the series Christmas House, and I think I just ordered another one in the series. I just think these are adorable, and they're going to make really cute little pillows for my dough bowl. And I have plenty of fabric, so I can stitch several more on this fabric. This fabric is perfect. I got this at StitchCon over the summer. I've been really trying to like just use fabric from my stash because I have a lot of fabric and it just doesn't make sense to keep buying fabric when I have a lot of fabric and I could probably find something that'll work. So I've really been focusing on using what I have and it's been working out for me. All right, this next one is also another by With Thy Needle and Thread. You saw Be Ye Thankful before. Now I've got Joy and Good Cheer. And I'm stitching this one on Picture This Plus Tyco, 40 count. You're going to see a lot more of the Tyco here because apparently that's like my new favorite neutral. So this is all I've got done so far, just the border. But I did find that the Be Ye Thankful moved pretty fast, so I think if I can get some more time on this, I can get some good progress. So that's Joy and Good Cheer. And that's a wintry one, so I could still work on that for a while. I'm very much a seasonal stitcher. So, you know, if it's Christmas time, I'm stitching Christmas. If it's winter, I'm stitching winter. So I think, you know, in the new year, having those days of the month where I stitch, you know, pieces that are certain seasons or holidays, I think will be helpful to me in getting things done. You know, stitching Christmas on the 25th, stitching the 4th of July on the 4th. I think that'll really help me get some progress on some things that might not see any true focus until the season. This next one is a new one by Heartstring Samplery. It's called Winter Comes. And there's 2 different versions. So you can see we've got the smaller version and this one's stitched on the lighter color. And then you got the bigger version, which is basically the same thing as this, but it's got a verse on top here. And I decided that I wanted to stitch the smaller version, but stitch it on the darker fabric. So that's what I did. And I'm choosing all my own colors. So I'm stitching this on Picture This Plus Dusk, 36 count. Same thing I'm stitching Santa's Stamp Collection on. And that's what I've got so far, just the top left corner start. Has a fuzzy on it. That's all I've got so far. I know these aren't marshmallows, but they really look like marshmallows on sticks to me. Everything looks like food to me, apparently. Okay. We're getting close to the end. All right, next I've got Santa Stops Here. This is number 50. Santa it just stops here. This is another new one by With Thy Needle and Thread. It's gorgeous. I'm stitching it on the called for R&R Winter Brew 36 count. Stitching it with all the called for floss. In fact, I bought the kit from Kitten Stitcher. You had to buy the patterns separately, but you could buy a kit that had the fabric and all the floss. So that's what I did. And that's what I've got so far. So I've made some good progress on the candy house here. I started with the outline of the windows and all of the mortar. So now I'm just filling in those bricks. So I'm enjoying getting into the colored part of it now. And I'm really looking forward to getting to the red, getting to Santa, and getting to that border. That's going to be fun. But I've been forcing myself to focus on that house and then move out from there, because I think the house is probably going to be the most tedious part. Okay. All right, these next two are like new starts. I literally just started them like in the last few days. So I was inspired by Jessica, Sweetwater Stitcher, to start these next two. So I love Jenny Bean, Shakespeare's Peddler, and I started the Jenny Bean's Christmas Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. And this is not a new pattern. This was 2009. You can find it on kittenstitcher.com. And it says, "And had I but 1 penny, thou shouldst have it to buy gingerbread." Super cute. And so, like I said, I'm really digging the Picture This Plus Tyco that I'm stitching the Joy and Good Cheer on. So I decided to stitch this on Tyco too, because I had a giant piece of it. I don't even know where I bought it, but it's coming in handy. So that's just what I've got so far. I am stitching it with all the called for floss, and just a tiny start. I do want to work on this some more before I put it away for the season. And we're down to 2. Down to 2 left. All right, this is number, that one was what, 51? This is number 52, I guess. I was also inspired by Jessica to do this one. And in fact, I saw another friend on Facebook, my friend Tony Stitches in Kentucky. She just finished this on her birthday, I think. Or maybe she had it framed, or I don't know. But she finished it, and hers is gorgeous. And it's called Noel Sampler by Brenda Gervais. This was from 2013. So again, not a new one. New to me. Beautiful. And so I started this one, and I've really been having fun with this. I started it like 3 days ago, and I've just been going to town. Also stitching this on 40 count Picture This Plus Tyco. My new favorite fabric, apparently. And that's what I've got so far. It's gorgeous. And again, like I said, I love shades of red. And that's what you got here. Beautiful. And I'm stitching it with all the called for floss. So that's where I'm at with that. And then my final 2022 work in progress that I started last night is from the 12 Dogs of Christmas Blue Flower, of course, that I got from the Jingle Ball, because I love dogs. And I wanted to stitch a Daisy dog. There's not any Daisy dogs on here. She's a Chiweenie. This one looks more like a Dachshund, but Daisy's a Chiweenie. So I decided I was going to stitch this one, but modify it to look more like my Daisy. Because Daisy is long, like a Dachshund, but not as long as a Dachshund. And her tail curls up, and her ears are a little more perky. So I've been changing this to look like my Daisy. And I just started it, like I said, last night. And I've been working on it. I'm stitching this on 40. Oh, it's my first time stitching on a 40 count Verdal, which is, I guess, an even weave. And it's fun. I'm enjoying it. This is Mystic Fabrics Silver Mist. Not sure where I bought this, but look how cute. So I'm changing the color of the sweater because Daisy's very festive. She did wear a Christmas dress. So if she had a Christmas sweater, it's going to be green and red. And I'm changing the colors to look more like her. I do want to go back and frog, this part here, because it's too like square. I want to round out her brown part of her leg a little more. But so far, I think it's looking good. I curled the tail up like Daisy's tail goes. I am shortening the dog a little bit more because she is long, but not as long. And so I'm just making my way up to the top of the dog, and hopefully I'll be able to make it look just like Daisy, and I'll turn this into a little ornament to put on my tree. I do also want to stitch another one that looks like my dog Toby, who passed away last year. This was our first Christmas without him, so it was really sad. My brother-in-law comes and spends Christmas with us every year. He's a teacher too. He lives in New Jersey, and he brings his dog, my dog nephew JJ, with him. JJ has celebrated the last 12 Christmases with us, I believe. And so this is JJ's first Christmas without his buddy Toby too. So it's been kind of sad. So, you know, Toby's been on our mind a lot lately because of the fact it's our first holiday without him. So I do want to stitch a Toby dog. He was a rat terrier. And I'm thinking that the dog that looks most like him is probably this dog here. Toby had a nub tail, so I'd have to shorten the dog's tail. And Toby's ears went up because he's a rat terrier. And so I would have to change the dog's ears, and Toby was black and white. But I think I could make that dog look like Toby. So that'll be my next job. And then I really want to stitch these 3 down here, but I'm going to change it to Daisy. This one's definitely going to need some modification. That'll be Toby. And then JJ's the biggest one, and he is a Bichon Frise. He's white and curly. So definitely going to need to modify this one too. But it's got 3 dogs, so I can kind of work off of the framework of the 3 dogs there and change them to look like Daisy, Toby, and JJ, because last year was their first year of Christmas all together. Their only year all together at Christmas. So I think that would be fun to commemorate, you know, the dogs' Christmas, because our dogs are like a huge part of our Christmas celebration. They're our babies. So yeah, so I just started that last night. Hopefully I can finish it. So this actually might not even make it into 2023 because I'll probably just finish it up today. But yeah, so that's my 53 WIPs. Some people have goals to like get their WIP count down. I don't really have that goal because I'm very much a mood stitcher. I'll stitch on whatever I feel like stitching at the time. I'm a seasonal stitcher. I'm one of those people, if I make a plan, I won't stick with it because I don't like to be told what to do, even by myself. And so I really don't care if I lower my WIP count or if I make it even higher. It's probably going to get higher because for the 12 by 12 New Year's Eve thing, I was going to do mostly WIPs, but I think I'm going to do all starts because I had several things kitted up that I've been wanting to start, and I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. So I will be making another video right after this one to show you my New Year's Eve plans. But for this video, I'm done. I just wanted to show you guys all my WIPs and have a chance to look at them myself and just walk down memory lane. I would like to hear your feedback. What you think about that cozy cafe. Should I give up? Should I just put it in perpetual timeout? Should I give it to somebody who wants to finish it? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with my WIPs. I'm pretty happy pulling them out and looking at them and really thinking about what ones I definitely want to focus on, especially my Let Love Reign. So at least I have some idea of like, even though I'm not like making a set plan, like I'm going to work on this day and I'm going to have it finished by then, I do know like where I want to put my focus. So definitely the Let Love Reign, the Meditation Garden, and my Things Unseen Sal are going to be focus pieces for me that I really just want to finish sometime in the new year. So, okay, that's it for my WIP parade. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. And yeah, if you've seen any other good WIP parades, let me know because I'm all about watching the WIP parades. I've watched several so far. They're fun to watch and see what everybody's stitching. All right, guys, take care.